Hi, my dear students. Myself Sachin. I am continuing the topic of highway engineering, that is Module 4 Pavement Materials. In this module, we will learn about the types of the pavement materials which are to be used in a normal days for the construction of the pavements. Now, let us start up with the introduction. First, what do you mean by pavement materials? Pavement subjected to various conditions, for example, weather changes, impact loads, imposed loads. Weather changes means when the road is we are constructing a pavements that should be easily and that should be comfortable with the all weathering conditions. For example, it may be subjected to rainy seasons, it may be subjected to cloudy season, or it may be subjected to summer season, but should be with resistance to the all weathering conditions. And the same road may be subjected to impacts of load. For example, on that road there will be a light moving of vehicles like cars, bikes, etc. In the same road there may be a chances of the moving of lorries and trucks and buses. So both should conditions should be considered before the construction of the pavements. Next, imposed load. What do you mean by imposed load and impact load? Impact load is nothing but an sudden loads. Imposed load are nothing but an that load is are extended by the various properties like external loadings other than the dead load. These are called as an imposed loads. Next, the pavement should not undergo excessive deformation and settlement. Assume if it is a road, when the subjected to continuous load, there will be a settlement in the pavement. This should not be happen because this may be a undulations, or it may be a obstruction for the moving of vehicles, passengers. So that should not be happen. Next, hence high compressibility and plastic properties are desirable for the pavement construction. Good quality of the soil is required because the main predominant material which is used for the construction of road pavements is nothing but soil, because the subgrade or soil should be a good quality. That's why we are not using a BC soil, black cotton soil. So in the BC soil, the swelling as well as the water absorption capacity will be more compared to the other soils. That's why that BC soil is completely rejected for the construction of the roads. Next, pavement cross section. This already learned in the previous module video. This pavement cross section, when we are considering a pavement cross section, so there will be a slight increase in the central portion of the road. Here there is a movement of vehicle, here there is a movement of vehicle in two direction. Assume this one is a two direction. So first one, embankment will be there. So embankment. Next, subgrade, subbase, base, wearing course. This will be treated as an wearing course. Below this, base course. Again below this, sub base course. Below the sub base, subgrade, and the last one, embankment will be there. So different types of the materials used depending on the layer requirements. In upcoming slides, you will learn about the different types of the materials which is used for the construction of the road pavements. Next, as already told, soil is the main constituent subgrade and embankment, because the main or foundation, you can call it as a foundation for the structure. That's here also the soil is the main foundation for the structure like a roads or nothing but pavements. Aggregates are used in the sub base and base courses. In subgrade only soil is taken. In case of the sub base, aggregates are taken. Next, aggregates and binding materials in the top layers. Subgrade embankment provides support for the pavements. Next, different types of the failures such as cutting and shoving in the flexible pavements, cracking in the rigid concrete. These are due to poor subgrade of the soil, or there may be a settlement of the soil in the bottom layers. So this will be results on cracking on the rigid pavements. Rigid pavement is nothing but a concrete pavements, you already know. Next one, soil. What do you mean by what is the role of the soil in the construction of the road pavements? Because this one is the predominant material, I already told. accumulation or deposit of the earth material formed by the disintegration of rocks. Assume there is a rock. When it is subjected to with the chemical or thermal weathering conditions, this may be accumulation or deposit of the earth material formed due to the disintegration of the rocks. Again, in this material, the properties of the soil is: first one, stability, incompressibility, permanency strength, minimum change in volume, good drainage, easy of compaction. Next, index properties. What do you mean by index properties? This already you have learned in a geotechnical engineering 1, GT1 and GT2. So what do you mean by index properties? The soil properties based on which the identification and classification done, nothing but. So here, as there are four types of soil: A, B, C, D. For our identification purpose, I have given the name A, B, C, D. So this cannot be applied on the field works. So for identification purpose and classification purpose, there is some gradation, or there is some separation techniques, that is called as a identification and classification properties, index properties of the soils, known as index properties. How you will classify? First one, based on the grain size distribution. If it is a 20 mm, more than 20 mm, then you can call it as an aggregate. If it is a 4.75 sand near, if it is a less than 4.75 to 2.36, considered as a soils. Again, in the soils, clay, these are the different types of the soils, depends on the sizes. Next one, liquid limit. What do you mean by liquid limit? What do you mean by plasticity index? In the next slide I will show. Plasticity index is nothing but there is a difference in between the liquid limit and plastic limit. First, we should know about the plastic limit and liquid limit. What do you mean by plastic limit and liquid limit? These will be comes under the next slides. We'll go through the in detail. Next, grain size distribution is determined by mechanical analysis, and liquid limit is by Casagrande apparatus. We have already learned in a geotechnical laboratory what do you mean by Casagrande apparatus. So keep in mind, liquid limit for Casagrande and grain size distribution is done by mechanical analysis. What do you mean by grain size distribution? This you have already learnt in a SOM, MT lab and GT lab. So I will not waste so much time on this grain size distribution. Just I will go through the PPT. You can go through the notes for extra information. Coarse grained soil. Here, what type of soil I have taken? Coarse grained soil. Sieve analysis for non-cohesive soil. Sieving material successfully through the small sieves for cohesive soil. Wet sieve analysis. There are two different conditions for wet cohesive soils, non-cohesive sieve analysis. Soil finds by sedimentation analysis or hydrometer method, pipette method. Gradation characteristics. These are the proportion of different soils, that is I have already told: sand, gravel, silt, clay. You can see here the size of the soils have been decreased. Here the size of the sand is more compared to gravel, silt, clay. Continuously the size of the sand has been decreased. So grain size distribution. Totally, before that we should know about the graphs. The graph is like this, then we can call it as an well graded, like this. These are called as an gap graded, and this one is the poorly graded. So totally there are three types of the distribution there. So sand I have taken as a well graded soil. Now here I will discuss the consistency limits and indices. This actually determined by John Atterberg. That's why we have call it as an Atterberg limits. You can call it as an consistency limits or Atterberg limits. So I'm considering the three-phase diagram of the soil here. So here the solid state means nothing but the soil is completely in solid state. So water content is completely zero. After this solid, here the state can be called as a dry state or dry limit. Whenever we added some water to here, the state will be changes to plastic state. Then what do you mean by shrinkage limit? So shrinkage limit is nothing but an water content required to changes from solid state to plastic state. In this between two limits, one more limit is there, that is shrinkage limit. Because in the dry limit the water content is completely zero, in plastic limit there will be a water content. So in the between these two limits, one more limit that is called as a shrinkage limit, or you can call it as a semi solid state. When the water is added, the cement lost its property like a dry property to convert it into a cohesive property, that is called as a plastic state. That is called as a plastic state. So what do you mean by plasticity index? Here after the plastic state, if we added continuous water, that will changes to viscous liquid state, nothing but a fluid state, like this flowability. In this the water content will be maximum. Here water content is zero, here just adding the water in the shrinkage limit, here completely water content is zero, here water content is maximum. So while showing one by one, here there is no water, here already water added. In between these two, limit is called as a shrinkage limit. If you are continuously goes on increasing the water content, that will be converted to the viscous liquid state. So if you want to find out a plasticity index, liquid limit minus plastic limit, that will be treated as an plasticity index. You have already learned in a geotechnical engineering 1 and 2. Just brush up with these two topics. Next, soil types. Based on the particle size and distribution properties, different types are there. So first classification is primarily based on grain size distribution and index properties. So based on the grain size, gravel, sand, silt, clay. Different systems. Actually, this one is the most important. Different systems of classification. First one is a USGS textural soil classification, Burmester method, Casagrande soil classification, Unified Soil Classification System, and BIS Bureau of Indian Standards, and HRB classification, and lot more. But all classification do not have a common size for the defining the soils, because each classification system having a its own identification and own sizes for the different soil properties. First one I will go with the USC or UCS, Unified Soil Classification or Unified Classification of Soil, that is developed by Casagrande in the year of 1948. Airfield construction are nothing but after the World War II modified to suit for the requirement of other construction materials. According to USCS, coarse grained soils are nothing but grain size distribution more than the 50% retained over the 75 micron. So coarse grain is equals to more than 75 micron, 50%. Similarly, for fine grained plasticity characteristics, more than 50% passes through the 75 micron. Keep in mind, this will be only referred for unified soil classification. While considering the different soil classification, there will be a different regulations. Here, USC gravel is more than 50%, that is number CO number 4.75, or CO number 4 size is 4.75. Sand more than 50% CUs, number 4. Coarse grained contains less than 5% fines, that is nothing but well graded soils, grade well soils. Next, poorly graded, as already told, gap graded, poorly graded. So more than 12% of the fines GM, GC, SM will be the different soil categories. For fine grained soil, liquid limit is 50% or less MLSL, soils of low compressibility. These are the different classifications of soil. In the next table you will learn here. So here given, what do you mean by GW, well graded soil, GP, poorly graded, GM, silty gravel, GC, clary gravels, SW, well graded sand and gravel sands, SP, poorly graded sands, SM, silt sands, SC, clay sands, ML, inorganic salts, inorganic silts, CL, inorganic clay of low medium plasticity, OL, organic silts, MH, inorganic silts, CH, inorganic clays, and OH, organic less, PT, peat or muck. So these are the different typical names. While coming to the major divisions, coarse grained soils are 50% retained or 0.075 mm or 75 micron ISU. Gravels, while discussing, 50% more coarser than the retained of 4.75 mm CU, or you can call it as an CU number 4 if it is more than 50%. Sands, if it is more than 50% of coarse fraction, passes here, passes here, retained. So keep in mind, here retained, here passes, then it will be treated as a gravel, as a sand. Next, fine grained. Silts and clays, liquid limit 50% or less. Silts and clays, liquid limit greater than 50%. And the last one is highly organic soils. For fine grained soils, more than 50% possess the 0.075 mm number 200. So these are the different soil classification.